figure out how this all connects. So that's our mission today, basically. We're going to unpack these ideas, see how they work together, maybe in ways you wouldn't expect, and then pull out the most useful stuff, the stuff you can actually use.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I mean, it is fascinating to think about like the world of SEAL training.
Yeah.
Right. Super intense, all about results, and then putting that next to, this
Figure out
idea
how
that
this all
our
connects.
beliefs can change our
So
reality.
that's our mission
So
today, basically.
It's a
We're
cool
going to
contrast, and I
unpack
think
these
looking at
ideas,
them
see how they
together
work
could give us some
together,
pretty
maybe in ways
powerful
you wouldn't
insights,
expect, and then
about how
pull
we
out the
deal
most
with
useful
life's
stuff.
challenges and how we achieve our goals.
Exactly. So let's jump right in with Admiral McRaven. Okay, his 10 lessons from SEAL training. The first one is make your bed. Seems super basic, right? But he's got a point. It's about that first win of the day, setting the tone. You get one thing done, and then that kind of snowballs. And I love this part. He talks about even if your whole day goes to hell, you come home to that made bed, like a little island of order in the chaos. What do you think? When you've got a crazy day ahead, does that idea of starting with that small act of control, does that make sense to you?
It's funny, isn't it? It's so simple, but there's a real depth to it. It's not just about being tidy. It's about taking charge right from the get-go. When everything else feels out of control, that little act of making your bed, it's like, yeah, I did that. I can do this. And I think if we zoom out of it, even the biggest projects, the most daunting tasks, they're really just a bunch of smaller steps, right? And that made bed, it can remind you of that. Like, hey, I can handle this one step at a time.
Totally. So lesson 2 is all about teamwork, which makes sense in the SEAL world. Find someone to help you paddle, he says. And he uses this great image of a SEAL boat crew battling through these massive waves, trying to get to shore. If everyone's not paddling together with the same effort, following their leader, the boat flips, everyone goes down. So the takeaway here for all of us is that, yeah, you're not going to change the world all by yourself. You need your people, you need to work together, support each other. And yes, sometimes you need someone to lead the way to help you navigate those rough waters, those metaphorical surf zones in our lives, right? What about you? Have you had times when that collaboration, that sense of teamwork was absolutely crucial?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. How many truly impactful things have been accomplished by just one person working in isolation? Not many, right? And what's really interesting is that even in SEAL training, where it's so competitive, right, they still emphasize teamwork. So it's like saying no matter what you're doing, no matter how skilled you are, working together, supporting each other, it's fundamental.
Right. And then he tells the story about the Munchkin crew, this boat crew. They were all like smaller guys from all different walks of life, but they consistently outperformed everyone else. They were faster, stronger, just tougher. And McRaven's point is SEAL training, it levels the playing field. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like. It's about your drive, your heart. It makes you think twice about how we judge people, doesn't it?
For sure. I mean, it totally challenges those snap judgments we make, right? Like, oh, that person, they can't do that based on, I don't know, their appearance, their background, whatever. And this story shows us that inner qualities like resilience, grit, maybe even that shared experience of being underestimated, that can be a huge driver of success. And if you think about it more broadly, it shows the power of diversity, different perspectives, different strengths coming together. That collective it can overcome any limitation, any obstacle.
Totally.
Okay, lesson 4. This one's called Becoming a Sugar Cookie. Now, that sounds pretty nice, but trust me, it's not. So picture this. Uniform inspection. No matter how perfectly you prepped your uniform, the instructors would always find something wrong. And the punishment. You run, fully clothed into the freezing ocean, then roll around in the sand until you're completely covered. You're a sugar cookie. And the lesson. You're not going to be perfect. Things will go wrong. You'll feel like you've messed up no matter how hard you try. But the key is to get over it, accept it, and keep moving forward. Have you ever felt like a sugar cookie? Like you put in all the effort, but it still wasn't enough? Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's life, right?
Yeah.
That sugar cookie scenario, it's a perfect metaphor for all those times we feel like we've come up short despite our best efforts. And I think the key takeaway there, it's not letting those moments define us. It's about building that resilience, that mental toughness to say, okay, this sucks, but I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to keep going.
Exactly. Okay, next up we've got don't be afraid of the circuses. So the circus in SEAL training, it was basically extra brutal calisthenics, right? Punishment for messing up. Nobody wanted to be in the circus. But McRaven, he makes this interesting point. He says the guys who ended up in the circus a lot, they actually became the strongest, most resilient. They learned to push through the pain, to embrace the suck. So he's reframing failure, right? He's saying, These are life's circuses. They're tough, they're not fun, but they make you stronger.
It's a good way to look at it, don't you think?
It's a total reframe. It's taking something that's seen as negative, as a punishment, and turning it into an opportunity for growth. And it actually reminds me of this concept. Okay, so you've given us some really
Oh, our listeners got something to share. Let's hear it.
What's up, idiot? Yo, how you doing? Exactly. That's what I thought.
Okay, so you've given us some really interesting stuff to dive into